Hello, and thank you for joining me today for our special presentation, 30 Minutes to Savvy Cybersecurity, 5 Threats Every Person and Business Faces, and How to Fight Them Now. My name is Krystian Cieplucha, and I'm a financial consultant here at Alliant Retirement and Investment Services. Today we'll cover a few important cybersecurity concepts and ideas to consider and actions you can take right away to protect you, your finances, and your identity. Let's get started. Our team at Alliant Retirement and Investment Services is focused on helping you understand the ins and outs of investing, saving for retirement, and much more. Take a look at our website, ARIS.Alliant.creditunion.com, to see our list of weekly webinars, our Invest Savvy podcast, blog, and other financial resources. 2 seconds. That's how often someone becomes a victim of identity theft. Last year, there were over 14 million victims of identity theft and fraud. Are you one of those 14 million? Has your personal information been exposed in a data breach or hack? The statistics say most likely. The past few years have given us record-breaking breaches. You see only a few of the big ones listed here. LinkedIn exposed data of over 700 million people. 530 million Facebook users were victims to a data breach that exposed their phone numbers, names, locations, email addresses, and more. Yahoo took first place for the biggest breach in history with news of a hack that affected every single Yahoo account. That's 3 billion users. And these are only some of the breaches that occurred in the last few years. Given those statistics, it's likely that your personal information has landed in the hands of a hacker. In addition, new threats are exposed every day. Even as we sit here now, a vast array of cyber attacks are attempting to breach the walls of security networks built to protect you and your digital information on the internet. And what I'm going to say next sounds a bit dramatic, but dark forces and criminal networks conspire day and night to steal your username and password, obtain your social security number, open credit cards in your name, drain your bank accounts, and seize your computer to hold it for ransom. The authors of the book, Cybersecurity and Cyber War, contend that a cyber world war is underway, and we're all involved. Our biggest problem, they say, is that we face a cybersecurity knowledge gap. It's a serious growing problem. Most people don't realize how vulnerable they are or what they can do to maximize their security. By the end of my presentation today, I guarantee you will leave better prepared to protect yourself, your family, and your business from the quietly raging cyber wars targeting us all. First, you'll take a short quiz to determine your current cybersecurity score. We'll do that in a moment. Then, once you know your vulnerabilities, I'll teach you the new cybersecurity rules. These are actions you can take that will boost your score. Part 1. Discover your cybersecurity score. As I go through the questions, give yourself 5 points for each question answered yes. Add up your points. Ask yourself, how many did you answer yes to? Don't be discouraged if you scored low. Most people do. Knowing where you stand is the first step in creating your cybersecurity plan. So let's get started. 1. I have one email address that I use exclusively for my online accounts, banking, credit cards, payment, brokerage, and nothing else. 2. I have two-step verification, two-factor authentication turned on for my email and online financial accounts. Number 3. I can spot the difference between dangerous free public Wi-Fi and useful secure free public Wi-Fi. Number 4. I understand how to tell if my home Wi-Fi network is vulnerable to hackers and how to boost the network security. Number 5. Whenever any money leaves my bank accounts or my credit cards are charged, I'm alerted to the transaction. 6. I have complete control over my credit files at the big 3 bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, because I have placed them on the highest security level. 7. I have confirmed with the credit bureaus that my minor children have not been the victims of identity theft and have frozen their credit files. 8. I always make sure that my computer system and devices have the most up-to-date software programs, including operating systems, browsers, Microsoft Office, virus protection, wireless router, and Adobe programs. Part 2. Learning the new cybersecurity rules. I believe you can develop 3 cybersecurity mindsets to strengthen and maintain your cybersecurity so that staying safe is more simple. The three mindsets cover various parts of your life and overlap to form a sweet spot of actions that will boost your cybersecurity score. Each mindset alone provides a greater security, but the combination of the three really makes you secure. The mindsets are secrecy, omniscience, and mindfulness. Each mindset contains a group of actions for people to take called the new cybersecurity rules. I'm going to explain all three mindsets and the associated rules. Let's take a look at the first mindset. We all need more secrecy in our lives, and that is why our first key idea is adopting a new level of secrecy can boost your security and cyber confidence. The secrecy mindset entails keeping your personal and private data private. With all the massive amounts of data breaches suffered by corporations and governments, we need to act as if our personal data already exists at the hands of cyber criminals, because it likely does. We all need to draw a tighter ring of security around our personal data, and that starts with your email. Our email address is the key to our digital lives. We share it with countless businesses, organizations, and people. If you use the internet for any amount of time, you have entered your email address at a host of online accounts for shopping, traveling, exercising, gaming, dating, and more. We don't think twice. But having your email address in so many databases puts you at significant risk. Hackers routinely breach the security networks of many organizations that hold your primary email address. That stolen personal data paired with poor email security can lead to disaster. Robert Siciliano, CEO of IdentityTheftSecurity.com and security writer, explains, "It has been said that if you own a person's email, you own the person. This means that once your email is hacked, pretty much your entire digital life is up for grabs. So even if you've done your due diligence to have all your passwords be different, if your email is hacked and it's associated with your other online accounts, the hacker could simply use a reset and get access to all your other accounts." Now, you may not care if someone hacks into your non-financial accounts, but you certainly don't want your online banking exposed in the same way. This is why you need to create a separate secret email for your financial accounts. This email address should be unidentifiable. Don't use your first name, last name, initials, or other identifying information. It should also be protected by a strong and unique password. A separate email address reduces your digital footprint, and if your primary non-financial email address is exposed in a hack, it will not be connected to your financial accounts. This is a key step in boosting your security. And our email addresses need to be protected by strong passwords. But we all face something called the password paradox. Easy to remember passwords are easy to break. Hard to break passwords are hard to remember. Many passwords we use are child play for hackers. Computer power gets stronger with each passing year. That means the bad guys can figure out your password in no time flat. How long does it take for a computer to crack 1,000 weak passwords? Just 17 minutes. One reason for this is that people choose passwords that have less than 6 characters, or they use names, words, other common phrases like password or 123 456. But there are other ways to think about passwords. You can create a mnemonic. Add numbers and symbols thrown in to add layers of security. For instance, a person I know takes the first line of a prayer they say every day and uses the first letter of each of the first 10 words of the prayer. They add some numbers and symbols and they have a very strong password. Or you could use a poem, song lyrics, or phrase. You see an example here. Or you could try this. Create a password that embodies a goal you're trying to reach, such as exercising, eating better, or saving money. This is especially good when you need to change your password every 6 months. Each time you type your password, instead of it being a negative drag on your brain, it will positively reinforce your specific goal. You see an example here. You can get as creative as you like. Remember to drop some letters and replace them with symbols to boost your password strength. Another technique is called the diceware method. Here you roll a die 5 times and record each number. Repeat that process 4 times more and you have 5 5-digit numbers. Then go to diceware.com and match your 5-digit numbers to the list of 7,000 words. These random 5 words become your password. You may be thinking, how will I remember all of that? We all know the number of passwords we have is growing. It's nearly impossible to remember a unique and strong password for all of our accounts, which is why I recommend using a password manager. A password manager stores all of your passwords in an encrypted file stored on your computer or in the cloud. The file is protected with a master password, the only password you'll have to remember. Of course, you'll want that password to be as strong as possible. Creating strong passwords is just the first step in your account protection plan. We need to put another layer of security on our all-important accounts such as email, online banking, social media, and more. That extra layer is a relatively new trend in online security called two-step verification, or sometimes two-factor authentication. It should be added to any account you have that supports the technology. With this approach, when you start to log into an account online, you're sent a short-lived one-time passcode. You must use that code to finish logging in. You can receive this code via text or something called an authenticator app. The authenticator app is the most secure option as it is more difficult for hackers to compromise. Some popular authenticator apps are Google Authenticator and Microsoft Authenticator. This method stops your accounts from getting hacked because it requires two separate things: something you know, which is your password, and something you have, which is the temporary code. So even if a hacker has your password, they won't gain access, and you'll be alerted if someone is trying to break into your account. If you get a code and you haven't tried to log in, you know something is up. At that point, you'll want to change your password. Now that we know how to lock down our passwords, it's time to talk about when it is safe to log into those accounts. It's certainly true that we all love free internet access when we're out and about and want to be connected, but that free connection can end up being very costly. These free networks are completely open, and hackers can gain access to anything you do while connected. Your email, your credit card number, your bank account. You see the pattern here. It can be very bad. When connected to free public Wi-Fi, avoid making financial transactions or checking your email. Instead, you can use your smartphone as a hotspot. When you do, you'll be using your data, which provides a private connection rather than the public wireless network. If you need to connect regularly on the go, a VPN or virtual private network would be a good option. This device allows you to create your own private Wi-Fi network anywhere you go. What about your home Wi-Fi network? Your home wireless network can open the doors to you and your family's digital life if your router is not properly protected. There are four main things you must do to lock down your router and Wi-Fi network from the hackers. Now, these are some of the more technical actions you'll have to take. Don't be discouraged if it sounds difficult. If you are confused, I advise you to contact the technology person in your life for help. To do these steps, you'll have to log into your router's IP address. If you do not know your router's IP address, you can find it in your user manual or by searching the make and model of your router online. First, you need to change the default username and password. Hackers know these and will use them to try to break into your network. Pick a strong password. Encrypt your router. Be sure to select the strongest encryption setting for your router, either WPA2 or WPA3. WEP is no longer considered secure, and you should replace your router if your only option is WEP. Number 3. Disable Wi-Fi Protected Setup, or WPS. This feature allows others to quickly connect to your network with a short passcode rather than having to type the whole password, but it can lead to strangers gaining access. If you don't have the option to fully disable this feature, see if you can limit the number of attempts a person can make to log in. And number 4, update your router firmware, which is a fancy word for software. The majority of routers come with outdated software, which leaves your network vulnerable to attacks. Updating your firmware sounds like a daunting task, but it's not that bad. Follow the instructions in your user manual for detailed instructions. You need to know what's going on with cybersecurity at all times. That's why the second key idea is completing certain actions can help you achieve financial cyber omniscience and thwart fraud. Achieving financial omniscience, or all-knowingness, starts with using technology so you're totally aware of what funds are leaving your accounts or being charged to your accounts at all times. You can protect your payment cards from the swarm of hackers and data breaches. Sign up for alert notifications with your bank and credit card companies. By doing so, you'll get a text or email alert every time a charge or withdrawal is made. The banks know instantly when charges are made to our accounts. Why shouldn't you? Signing up for instant alerts will bring you closer to achieving the omniscience mindset. Freezing your credit. This is absolutely critical to everyone's cybersecurity. Most people don't quite understand a key thing about their credit files. By default, our credit files are open. That means anyone with enough information to impersonate you may be able to open a new line of credit in your name. It happens all the time. It's a major source of identity theft. When you consider how many private and public organizations have been hacked, these are places we've trusted with our social security numbers, employment history, other details. You need to be worried about the state of your credit file at the big three agencies. We essentially need to take back control of our credit through a credit freeze. A credit freeze locks your credit file with a PIN at each of the bureaus. No new credit can be issued in your name unless you lift the freeze with your special PIN. You'll have to contact each of the three credit bureaus separately. They're free in every state thanks to a federal law passed in 2018. Previously, the cost varied, but was around $10 per action. A credit freeze puts you in control. It is more secure than monitoring or a fraud alert, both of which will alert you after credit has been issued in your name. With a freeze, you could prevent identity theft from happening ahead of time. But it's not just your credit that you need to be concerned about. Experts say that 500,000 children suffer from identity theft every year. It's because their clean records are attractive to thieves looking to open new accounts without any issues. The theft can go unnoticed for years. A lot of parents, grandparents often don't think to check their children's records. But childhood identity theft can lead to a lifetime of fraud and ruined credit. The first step in protecting your children is ensuring they have no credit report by contacting all three of the credit bureaus. Parents should send a letter including copies of the birth certificate for the child, listing them as the parent, their driver's license, and proof of address to all of the credit bureaus, and then ask for a manual search of the child's social security number. If no report is found, you're in luck, but you should still periodically check on your child's status. If a report is found, it's usually a sign that your child has been victimized. Ask the credit bureaus to place a freeze on your child's record and investigate further. You can now request a credit freeze for every child in every state. Previously, it was dependent on your state of residence, but now it's a federal law. You will again have to contact all three of the credit bureaus individually. Our third cybersecurity idea has to do with mindfulness. Achieving a sense of mindfulness when it comes to cybersecurity allows you to stay alert without becoming fatigued. What does this mean? Well, essentially, we need to be in a state of relaxed alertness when dealing with cybersecurity. Fighter pilots have an acronym. It's called OODA. It stands for Observation, Orientation, Decision, and Action. Zen masters use the phrase mindfulness also. When Google completed their own analysis of worldwide security practices, they also recommended mindfulness as a key part of cybersecurity. Mindfulness relates to your day-to-day cybersecurity practices. 9 out of 10 security experts say running updated software is necessary for strong security. Out-of-date software allows hackers to plant viruses and malicious software on your devices. 40% of computer users don't update their software in a timely fashion. Security experts say 75 to 80% of the computer hacks they see relate to outdated software. Hackers basically exploit security holes in your unpatched software, which allows them to install malware and viruses on your unprotected devices. This malware can record anything, or it can also kidnap your computer for ransom. You want to be sure that all the software and programs on all of your devices are up to date. This includes your operating system, your browsers, Microsoft Office, Adobe programs, all others. Many programs allow you to enable auto update. You should enable this on all your programs that allow it. A good place to start is to see if a program will auto update on the Security or Settings tab. You can always Google the name of the program and auto update that way as well. It's a good idea to install a good antivirus program on your computer. You'll want to make sure that that is always up to date as well. One type of malware I mentioned on the previous slide kidnaps your computer and holds it for ransom. This is called ransomware and is one of the biggest threats today. In this attack, hackers infect your device with malware that encrypts everything on your computer. You can no longer access any of your files. In order to get your files back, you must pay the hacker, often in a Bitcoin ransom. In order to avoid paying ransom to cybercrooks, you need to follow the rule of 3, meaning you need to back up all your files and data in 3 different places. The first is on your computer or device. Next, you need to save a copy of your files and data to a physical backup device, something like an external hard drive. Lastly, you need to save your data to a cloud service like Dropbox, iCloud, or OneDrive. The cloud is basically an internet-connected server that syncs with your device. Ransomware attacks are normally spread through a method called phishing. Phishing messages are emails that impersonate a legitimate company or person and are designed to steal your personal information or install malware on your machine through a malicious link. Hackers are sending out 94 billion of these messages every day. Most get caught in your spam filter, but some find their way to your inbox. There's a 10-second cybersecurity rule that will help you fend off the phishers. The acronym is email, and it stands for examine message and inspect links. Let's take it one step at a time. The first half of the acronym, examine message, starts with the subject line. Phishers are trying to get us to react quickly to an urgent situation. Often they will make the subject line something frightening, such as warning, account closed, or security alert. Some are more subtle, but still require you to take action. For example, mail delivery failed, return message to sender, incoming fax received. Subject lines like this should alert us that there might be a phishing attack at hand. Next, we need to discover the true sender of the email. Phishers can spoof the from line to appear to be a legitimate business or organization. You can determine the true sender by hovering your mouse over the display name. A small box will appear with the true email address. Other suspicious things to look for include greetings that refer to you as customer or sir or madam instead of your name. Maybe they have poor grammar or a vague signature line with false contact information. You should also be suspicious of unsolicited emails with attachments. Never click to open an unsolicited attachment. What presents itself as a resume, receipt, or payment could be a .exe file that plants a virus on your computer or seizes it for ransom. The second part of the 10-second email rule has to do with the links in the message. The second half of email requires you to inspect links within the message. Like you did with the sender, however, you're going to hover your mouse over any link or hyperlink text. Be sure that the link is truly directing you to the correct website. If it looks fishy, delete the email. You can always contact the organization directly and verify things. This is an action that needs to become part of your daily cybersecurity practices. Make it a habit so you can thwart off phishers without thinking about it. We've learned a lot today, and now it's time to take action. Research shows that we're more likely to do something if we write it down. Think about what we talked about today. Write down 3 actions that you plan on taking immediately. This will be your new action plan. Thank you, and I hope you found our presentation to be helpful and informative in terms of your thinking and commitment to cybersecurity. We very much appreciate your time today. Feel free to contact me with any questions regarding cybersecurity, financial planning, investments, or coordinating your estate plan. Take care.